Hello, my friends. I would really love to share with you some Bible verses that have had a lot of meaning to me in my life. And since there are a number of you out there who actually really enjoy the reading of the scripture, I thought I'll just share with you the little oddball verses that I have highlighted in the past that are special to me. And I think I'm going to start with chapter 11 in Proverbs. And don't expect to make sense of everything, because not everything makes sense. But these are just ones that I have, verses that I have highlighted because they meant something to me at the time that I was going through what I was going through. Okay, this is Proverbs chapter 11. The Lord abhors dishonest scales, but accurate weights are his delight. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. And then if you go a little further down, I have it written, highlighted, wealth is worthless in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. The righteousness of the blameless makes a straight way for them, but the wicked are brought down by their own wickedness. There's a lot of other good verses here, but I think I just want to read the ones that are highlighted as a matter of interest. It's almost like looking at a photo album. Okay. A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy man keeps a secret. A kind-hearted woman gains respect, but ruthless men gain only wealth. Okay. Oh, here's a good one that I didn't underline, but I would now. For lack of guidance, a nation falls, but many advisors make victory sure. He who puts up security for another will surely suffer, but whoever refuses to strike hands and pledge is safe. A kind-hearted woman gains respect, but ruthless men gain only wealth. Yeah, I said that one. Be sure of this. The wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will go free. Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no discretion. That's a good one for teaching your children modesty. One man gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. I guess that's really making a statement about being generous. Oh yeah, here we go. A generous man will prosper. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. People curse the man who hoards grain, but blessings crown him who is willing to sell. He who seeks good finds goodwill, but evil comes to him who searches for it. Whoever trusts in his riches will fall. But the righteous will thrive like a green leaf. He who brings trouble on his family will inherit only wind, and the fool will be servant to the wise. If the righteous receive their due on earth, how much more the ungodly and the sinner? Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates correction is stupid. I love that one. A wife of noble character is her husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones. Better to be a nobody and yet have a servant than pretend to be somebody and have no food. That before. I obviously did that because I highlighted it, but that's funny. A righteous man cares for the needs of his animal, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel. Interesting. He who works his land will have abundant food, but he who chases fantasies lacks judgment. An evil man is trapped by his sinful talk. Yes, I don't even have that one highlighted. Let's go down here. A fool shows his annoyance at once, but a prudent man overlooks an insult. Which is why sometimes I have just got to delete the mean comments immediately because otherwise I will be a fool and show my annoyance at once. Okay. There is deceit in the hearts of those who plot evil, but joy for those who promote peace. Diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in slave labor. An anxious heart weighs a man down, but a kind word cheers him up. A righteous man is cautious in friendship, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. In the way of righteousness there is life. Along that path, in the way of righteousness there is life. Along that path is immortality. Oh, immortality. Wow. He who guards his lips guards his life, but he who speaks rashly will come to ruin. The sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. The righteous hate what is false, but the wicked bring him shame and disgrace. Righteousness guards the man of integrity, but wickedness overthrows the sinner. Pride only breeds quarrels, but wisdom is found in those who take advice. Been trying to teach my granddaughter that. Dishonest money dwindles away, but he who gathers money little by little makes it grow. And this next one's huge for me because, oh my goodness, I needed to be able to relate to this, but it says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. Hope deferred means that when you lose hope, it makes your heart sick. A wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a trustworthy envoy brings healing. He who ignores discipline comes to poverty and shame, but whoever heeds correction is honored. He who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm. Misfortune pursues the sinner, but prosperity is the reward of the righteous. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. topics I'm thinking about. He who spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him is careful to discipline him. The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands the foolish one tears hers down. He whose walk is upright fears the Lord, but he whose ways are devious despise him. The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways, but the folly of fools is deception. Fool, let's see. Fools, we in this book of the Bible, I use the word fool a lot. Each heart knows its own bitterness, and no one else can share its joy. That's a good verse for describing how individual we are. He who despises his neighbor sins, but blessed is he who is kind to the needy. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. He who fears the Lord has a secure fortress, and for his children it will be a refuge. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. He who oppresses the poor shows contempt for their Maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God. When calamity comes, the wicked are brought down, but even in death the righteous have a refuge. Wisdom reposes in the heart of the discerning, and even among fools she lets herself be known. Wisdom reposes in the heart of the discerning, and even among fools she lets herself be known. Oh, that she's wise. Okay. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a disgrace to any people. This is a famous one. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Yeah. The tongue that brings healing is a tree of life, but a deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. A happy heart makes the face cheerful, but heartache crushes the spirit. Better a little with the fear of the Lord than a great wealth with turmoil. Better a meal of vegetables where there is love than a fattened calf with hatred. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. The heart of the righteous weighs its answers, but the mouth of the wicked gushes evil. Yes, indeed. Yeah. He who covers over an offense promotes love, but whoever repeats the matter separates close friends. That's a good one. Starting a quarrel is like breaching a dam, so drop the matter before a dispute breaks out. Acquitting the guilty and condemning the innocent, the Lord detests them both. Of what use is money in the hand of a fool, since he has no desire to get wisdom? A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Whoa, that's interesting. He who builds a high gate invites destruction. Ooh, that speaks to me. A cheerful heart is a good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. A discerning man keeps wisdom in view, but a fool's eyes wander to the ends of the earth. Even a fool is thought wise if he keeps silent, and discerning if he holds his tongue. A fool finds no pleasure in understanding, but delights in airing his own opinions. It is not good to be partial to the wicked, or to deprive the innocent of justice. One who is slack in his work is brother to one who destroys. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. The wealth of the rich is their fortified city. They imagine it an unscalable wall. Before his downfall, a man's heart is proud, but humility comes before honor. He who answers before listening, that is his folly and his shame. Oh my gosh, we all know people who just blurt before they even finish listening to what you have to say. But I think we all do that sometimes. A gift opens the way for the giver and ushers him into the presence of the great. That's very smart and true. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Amen. It is not good to have zeal without knowledge, nor to be hasty and miss the way. A man's wisdom gives him patience. It is to his glory to overlook an offense. He who is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and will reward him for what he has done. Discipline your son, for in that there is hope. Do not be willing party to his death. Food gained by fraud tastes sweet to a man, but he ends up with a mouthful of gravel. It's funny. The purpose of a man's heart are deep waters, but a man of understanding draws them out. I put in there counselors, because a good counselor will draw out the deep waters of another man's heart. Food gained by fraud. Oh, I said that. Okay. If a man curses his father or mother, his lamp will be snuffed out in pitch darkness. An inheritance quickly gained at the beginning will not be blessed at the end. Do not say, I will pay you back for this. Let me read that again. Do not say, I'll pay you back for this wrong. Wait for the Lord, and he will deliver you. A man's steps are directed by the Lord. How then can anyone understand his own way? Very interesting. I've got so much in Proverbs. Okay, let's go to the next page and see. Okay. Blows and wounds cleanse away evil, and beatings purge the inmost being. Wow, I don't even know what that means. Blows and wounds cleanse away evil. I don't know about that. That's kind of strange. I'll have to ask somebody what they think about them. Do what is right and just. To do what is right and just is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. If a man shuts his ears to the cry of the poor, he too will cry out and not be answered. A man who strays from the path of understanding comes to rest in the company of the dead. He who loves pleasure will become poor. Whoever loves wine and oil will never be rich. He who pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor. He who guards his mouth and his tongue keeps himself from calamity. There is no wisdom, no insight, no plan that can succeed against the Lord. Humility and the fear of the Lord bring wealth and honor and life. In the path of the wicked lies thorns and snares, but he who guards his soul stays far from them. Train a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not turn from it. Folly is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline will drive it far from him. When you sit to dine with a ruler, note well what is before you, and put a knife to your throat if you are given to gluttony. Do not crave his delicacies, for that food is deceptive. Do not wear yourself out to get rich. Have the wisdom to show restraint. Cast but a glance at riches, and they are gone, for they will surely sprout wings and fly off to the sky like an eagle. But then it says, when you dine with a ruler, be careful. But it also says, do not eat the food of a stingy man. Do not crave his delicacies, for he is the kind of man who was always thinking about the cost. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. Very interesting. Very interesting. Do not let your heart envy sinners, but always be zealous for the fear of the Lord. There is surely a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. Do not join those who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat, for drunkards and gluttons become poor, and drowsiness clothes them in rags. The father of a righteous man has great joy, and he who has a wise son delights in him. Do not envy wicked men. Do not desire their company, for their hearts plot violence, and their lips talk about making trouble. For waging war you need guidance, and for victory many advisors. This is interesting. Eat honey, my son, for it is good. Honey from the comb is sweet to your taste. Know also that wisdom is sweet to your soul. If you find it, there is a future hope for you. Do not gloat when your enemy falls. When he stumbles, do not let your heart rejoice, or the Lord will see and disapprove and turn his wrath away from him. I don't know if I agree with that or believe it for sure. Do not fret because of evil men or be envious of the wicked, for the evil man has no future hope, and the lamp of the wicked will be snuffed out. If your enemy is hungry, give him food to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. Without wood, a fire goes out. Without gossip, a quarrel quarrel dies down. That's good. Let another praise you, and not your own mouth. Someone else, and not your own lips. I gotta put a thing in there. Anger is cruel and fury overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? He who is full loathes honey, but to the hungry even what is bitter tastes sweet. Do not forsake your friend and the friend of your father, and do not go to your brother's house when disaster strikes you. Better a neighbor nearby than a brother far away. As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Death and destruction are never satisfied, and neither are the eyes of man. That's true. Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. No, that's not. That's the other side of the page. Evil men do not understand justice, but those who seek the Lord understand it fully. If anyone turns a deaf ear to the law, even his prayers are detestable. When the righteous triumph, there is great elation, but when the wicked rise to power, men go into hiding. He who conceals his sin does not prosper, but whoever confesses and renounces them finds mercy. Blessed is the man who always fears the Lord, but he who hardens his heart falls into trouble. He who works his land will have abundant food, but the one who chases fantasies will have his fill of poverty. A faithful man will be richly blessed, but one eager to get rich will not go unpunished. He who rebukes a man will in the end gain more favor than he who has a flattering tongue. When the wicked rise to power, people go into hiding, and when the wicked perish, the righteous thrive. So interesting. An evil man is snared by his own sin, but a righteous man can sing and be glad. The rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a child left to himself disgraces his mother. Discipline your son, and he will give you peace. He will bring delight to your soul. A man's pride brings him low, but a man of lowly spirit gains honor. Fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe. Two things I ask of you, O Lord. Do not refuse me before I die. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. Otherwise I may have too much and disown you and say, Who is the Lord? Or I may become poor and steal and so dishonor the name of my God. Under 3 things the earth trembles. Under 4 it cannot bear up. A servant who becomes king, a fool who is full of food, an unloved woman who is married, and a maidservant who displaces her mistress. Wow. And the last of this Proverbs is chapter 31. The wife of noble character. A wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still dark. She provides food for her family and portions for her servant girls. She considers a field and buys it out of her earnings, and she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her the reward she has earned, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. That's all for this Bible reading for today. I hope some of you were blessed by that, and I thank you for joining me.